Take.
I'm taking a video. So, we're at Chick-fil-A. And we have sweet little girl here eating her french fries. Looking cute. Yum, yum, yum. Okay, so I just showed you guys that my baby hair is the exact same color as her hair is now. So I want you to see the difference in how my hair has changed in color over the years. Is that not wild? I just think that's crazy. Well, next we're headed to Hobby Lobby because we're getting some stuff for the dollhouse.
What room are you working on right now?
The nursery.
So you don't think that would be good for the nursery?
Well, it's a lot of stuff in the nursery small. That's why I was thinking bunk beds.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
They have so much good stuff.
They do.
Look at that girl. Hello, Peyton. Oh no!
They must have.
What piece?
Here it is. Here it is. Hello, and welcome to Autumn Willow's Doll Nursery. My name's Miranda, and I have before you today little Peyton. And you would have seen just before this clips of us taking her out for date night. She went with us as a part of my establishing a bond with her for the first time. And now we're going to get her ready for bed. And we're going to talk a little bit more about the psychology. I know you guys enjoy that. And I did mention in a video, I believe it was last week, that I might talk a little bit more about the psychology behind bonding and not bonding. So, I'm excited to dig into that tonight as we get her ready for bed. I have picked out this yellow little sleeper, and it's got some flowers here. They're white, orange, and yellow flowers, green leaves. And I'm also going to put her in a hat. I don't have a hat that really matches this outfit well, so we're just going with this one. I need to get, if you guys know where you can get good hats for babies, let me know. Like, I tend to be a little bit picky, and I was on Amazon and I didn't see any that I liked. I don't know where else you can find hats, but I could definitely use a good variety, because I do use them quite a bit. But to start this video, I would like to share just what the AI, as soon as you Google psychology behind bonding with toys for adults, the first thing that pops up I'm just going to read this real quick. The psychology behind adults bonding with toys or dolls often stems from a desire for comfort and security, drawing on childhood associations where such objects served as transitional objects, providing a sense of safety and familiarity, especially during times of stress or change. This can manifest as a way to alleviate anxiety, loneliness, or nostalgia, connecting individuals to positive memories from their past. And yes, essentially, I think that's what it is for the majority of us. We do like the comfort or security or stress relief that we get from our dolls or toys, whatever it may be, stuffed animals. I guess for men, maybe Legos, train sets, video games, you name it. And I do feel that, what they give here is a real good list. And it even goes on and talks about different key points. And one of them is the transitional objects. And this was something that I was like, what do they mean by that? And this here says, in psychology, toys or dolls can act as transitional objects, which are items children use to bridge the gap between dependence on caregivers and independence, providing comfort when separated from loved ones. Adults may continue to rely on these objects for similar reasons. That I had never really considered. I find that kind of interesting. And I do notice in myself, I know I've talked to you about my driving anxiety. And I have noticed that it does help to have something with me. Whether it is a reborn, or just a stuffed animal, or even one of my small little miniature dolls, I do feel there is a comfort in bringing them with me when I don't have, say Jeff with me. And so I thought that was pretty cool. And the information here was really good. What is, I would say, more difficult to find is what prevents us from bonding as adults. What prevents us from being able to bond. We can bond with certain things, maybe not other things. And then the situations around it. One negative situation may prevent you from bonding, where another negative situation helps you to bond. And so it's all very personal, and one person may react differently in a situation than someone else. That makes it more interesting, I feel. But before I gab on too much, let's start getting Peyton dressed for bed. And I'm going to continue to use this pacifier here with this pacifier clip. I think it matches well enough. And I don't know if you know this center piece here of this pacifier glows in the dark. I noticed that just the other night. Okay, we're going to take out her little bow. We did have a good time taking her out with us. Took her into Chick-fil-A and Hobby Lobby. That was nice. I only had one kind of reaction, and that was when I was at Chick-fil-A. We had just placed our order, and I turned around to go find a seat when I noticed there had been a lady standing behind us, and she was looking at Peyton with this look on her face that was part, I would say, fear, and part like a judgy face. So it's almost as if she was thinking, oh my gosh, does this crazy lady actually have a doll out? And when she glanced up from Peyton to me, to myself, the look was more judgy at that point. She never said a word, and, you know, I just buzzed right by. It did not faze me or anything. But I did find it interesting. And I had to giggle a little bit because she did, just the look of fear. There was definitely a look of fear. Isn't that cute? This little onesie here. This was part of the fall collection. Oh, I can't remember if it was this past fall or the previous fall. And I think I got it at Walmart. So it's more than likely Carter's or Gerber. I was trying to find a tag, but I don't see one. Her diaper is still floofy, so I'm not going to change her diaper. We'll just leave her in this one. And I suppose it's, you know, people like that I would love an opportunity to educate on the psychology, you know, what the purpose is, because that, I think, takes some of the stigma out. And maybe not for everybody, maybe, who knows, maybe it would add to the stigma, I guess, for some people who tend to be a little bit more rigid and might say, oh, it's, you know, thinking negatively on it's a crutch. I mean, I don't see that as a negative thing. I think every single human being on Earth turns to something or someone for comfort. But there are other, I mean, even people who turn to food. Maybe there's a particular restaurant that when you feel stressed out, you're like, oh, I want a McDonald's French fry, or, you know, whatever it may be. I'm going to move for just a second. Oh, so this Laura Ashley is the brand of this sleeper, in case anybody's curious. Oh, and it is, let's see, 6 to 9 months. I think she does pretty well in sleepers that size, just because of how chunky her legs are. And she is 23. If I remember correctly, she's 23 inches in length. There we go. I really need to, I will be doing that soon. The maintenance work that I was going to do on her with her eyelashes and revarnish. That will be happening sometime within the next couple of weeks. Okay. Yeah, see, that fits really well. I've done wiggled her out of the shot there. Let's see. Pop that on there. How does that look? We look good? I think so. She's got wild hair. We're gonna have to tame the hair down a little bit. So I have my conditioner and water spray mixture here. I'm just gonna wet this down a bit. Try to keep her here where you can see her. And I'm gonna comb. I'm gonna kind of part her hair on this side the way it was. she does have a nice pattern of which the hair lays, so I'm gonna, but you can move it around. The way she rooted her, you can have her hair several different ways. It's really nice. Okay. And I also have plastic here. Since we're doing a hat, we are going to put some plastic on. There we go. Just kind of shaping it to her head there. And then we'll plop her hat on. Take this out for a moment. How cute. Looks really good, I think. Even though it's not, there is a pinkish color bit of ribbon around this hat. Doesn't perfectly match, but it will be okay. Okay. We'll scoot her up here a little bit. And I think you guys can see her okay. Maybe we can even bring this over and prop her up a smidge. There we go. Having a bit of a break to have a dish a friend introduced me to years and years ago. That is prison ramen. That's what they call it. But it's just ramen with scrambled egg and Doritos. Delish. Great way to take a break. We'll give her a little chew toy here. Very nice. Okay. So continuing on with our discussion here. If you look, you'll find several different articles out there on this topic. I found an interesting study that showed 43% of grown-ups admitted to still owning soft toys from where they were kids. So that would be your stuffed animals and things. 43%. And with that being said, you would think more people would be accepting of the reborn dolls. I'm assuming that the only reason why there is a disconnect still is because the reborn dolls look so realistic and it gives people the uncanny valley feeling. But if people did not get the uncanny valley feeling, I really think there wouldn't be such a stigma around collecting dolls. So they had 2,000 people that they did this study with, and they got the 43% still owned stuffed animals of some kind as adults. 84% of that 43, so hang with me here, 84% were men. And they had admitted to owning at least one stuffed animal, compared to 77% of women having a stuffed animal. So that to me, I would have thought women would have been the higher percentage of adults that still owned stuffed animals of some kind. So that, I think that's really fascinating. And I know that Jeff does not have a stuffed animal from his childhood, but he does have a stuffed wiener dog What did he call that wiener dog? I cannot remember his name. But it's one of the black, I think black and tan wiener dogs. And it used to ride around in his truck with him when he was an over-the-road truck driver. And he still has that little guy. Sometimes we'll take him out and let Kinsley play with him, as long as she plays gently. That's what drives me crazy that I can't remember his name. It's a cute name too. But I do think somewhere, they haven't been found yet, but I think there are a few of Jeff's toys from his childhood that were Star Wars toys. I think they are still somewhere at his mom's in an outbuilding that we have not looked in yet. So I do think he still has something from his childhood anyway. But isn't this fascinating? That more men were said to have a childhood toy. But you'll find a lot of different articles talking about how they can improve your mental health and help with loneliness and help you with security, help you heal from trauma, and to remind you of maybe some of the better aspects of your childhood. That's all kind of typical stuff that you'll see in articles. But you don't see people getting into, I guess, more of the intricacies of what it means for an adult to bond with something versus, when you're a kid. And sorry, I sniffle all the time in my videos. I noticed that the other day. But in the fall and in the winter, I tend to have more allergy issues than any time of the year, and I know that may seem odd. And I started my channel in the fall, and we're in winter now, and it's been crazy, the allergy issues that I've been dealing with here. So, pardon the sniffs, but I mean, it's me all day long. Sniffing here and sniffing there. And at night, every night, faithfully, I have got to sleep with Breathe Right strips. So, I do apologize, but it's just, hopefully it will clear up as we get into the spring. So, yes, with Peyton here, I have noticed that it's been easier bonding with her. As I have been going through some emotional things, and it's bringing up a lot of stuff from my childhood. And so I have been getting some healing in these areas and really releasing all of these pent up emotions and things. And so as I've been dealing with these negative emotions, I have found myself clinging to Peyton here as a source of comfort. And it has been nice. It has been nice. So, yes, the situation with my knee prevented me from bonding with her in the first place. But now this situation is helping me to bond. So, I'm wondering, do we get baby fever, as we call it in the hobby, when we're going through something? Maybe stress at work, maybe stress in a relationship, or maybe things from your childhood coming back, like dealing with some old emotions. Does that cause you to get baby fever? Or does it cause you to turn to, an old stuffed animal or something that you've had, a toy that you've kept from your childhood? Do you find yourself reaching for those things when you're going through something negative? Are you looking for something to attach to? And I know that when I first got Hava, Lilia Lynn, my very first reborn, I was definitely going through kind of multiple things. I had quite a bit of stress coming up, and I had even had an issue with my heart. It appeared I wasn't feeling well. For several months, I had been having strange health issues. Pain around my belly button. My body, like I could get cut, just even a simple scratch would take forever to heal and would end up scarring. Just simple little things that would take forever to heal. I am not the type to nap during the day, but I had started napping, feeling tired during the day. Normally I struggle to sleep in the first place, but it got to the point where I was napping during the day, and I kept telling Jeff, something is not right with my health. I don't know what's going on, but something is not right. And I can remember we had the grandbaby over, and she was being a little bit fussy. And so I was trying to keep her entertained, and I was bouncing her around, and we had the dancing fruit on the TV. She loved the dancing fruit. So if I was standing up bouncing her as she watched the dancing fruit, then she was happy. But if I sat down, she would get really upset. Well, I was getting tired, and my arms were both hurting, but especially my right arm was hurting. And I just thought it was from holding her and bouncing her. And I was getting to where it was hard to breathe. And so I would bounce for a little bit and then try to sit down, and then bounce and then try to sit down. And I started to feel odd. Like I was going to... I have been known to have these very strange little seizure moments. And when talked to a doctor, they called them something. It's a seizure where you're still awake. But like I will forget where I am. I won't recognize anything around me. And I panic, and I struggle to speak. They're very odd seizures, but I will feel a certain like buzzing in my head right before I go into one, and feel lightheaded. And I had started to feel that way, and I thought, oh no, I'm about to have a seizure. So I sat down on the couch. I still had the baby in my arms. And then all of a sudden, I felt my chest tightening. And I thought, well, am I having a panic attack? It's been years since I'd had a panic attack. But this felt different. It didn't feel how the old panic attacks would feel. This pain in my chest was much more intense. And I just started kind of panicking. I actually was clawing at my chest. It just felt like my chest was going to full on explode. And my right arm was intensely hurting. And this lasted for maybe 10 minutes, somewhere around that department. And I was still currently thinking I'm having a really bad panic attack. And I had tried to communicate to get my anxiety medicine. I actually had these, it's all natural, over-the-counter anxiety pills. And oh no, because this was right after my liver issues. So no, I actually had anxiety medicine from a doctor. First time I'd ever gotten anxiety medicine from a doctor. And so I was trying to communicate for my husband to get those, but I couldn't speak or anything. But he understood what I was trying to say and trying to like motion. and he was going to look for my pills, and it eventually, the intensity of the pain in my chest, the tightness, the just feeling like it's going to explode, subsided. And then I had the worst neck pain of my life. Oh, of my life. It just would not quit hurting. I was wore out. My whole body, I was just wore out. And I was telling Jeff, my neck hurts so bad. Oh my gosh, my neck hurts so bad. Well, anyway, took the anxiety medicine, and Jeff kept telling me, I think you had a heart attack. I think you had a heart attack. Well, of course, you know me, I'm not going to a doctor. So I was like, well, you know, if I'll just have to start being careful. We got, I think, the, whatever you call them, the little Bayer, I don't know if they were aspirins or whatever is supposed to be good for if you're having a heart attack. So we started keeping those around. In the following days, we had been, you know, occasionally walking around the park. And about a week after this, we went to try to walk around the park, and I just couldn't walk very far without, you know, feeling wore plumb out and not being able to breathe. It took me a long time to build back my stamina and be able to do the things that I had previously been able to do. So whether that was a heart attack or not, I still to this day do not know. I do not know. But I just experienced that and just had a lot on my plate at that time. And that's the memories of the dreams that I had about Eden. All of it was just on my plate. And that is when I was seeking out my first reborn doll. So, you know, did that negative situation and the dreams from my past was all coming together and driving me to find comfort, security in something, you know, just coming through a few months earlier with all the liver issues and, you know, and then that, you know, anytime we struggle with health, you know, I think that can emotionally and mentally tax us and cause us to need some kind of security and comfort. So, you know, who knows? Maybe all of that just created the perfect storm that had me, you know, looking, and especially looking at dolls in general. You know, I was looking at dolls in general and then happened to see the reborn Levi who looked like the baby from the dreams. And, you know, that caused me to go down that rabbit hole. But was I looking at dolls in the first place, looking for that comfort? It's fascinating to think about, and I do find myself paying attention now, you know, and kind of analyzing my own behavior. You know, yeah, I'm dealing with this right now, and it's causing me to want this specific thing and something else. So not only have I turned to Hayden here recently, as I'm dealing with a lot of emotions coming up, but you would have seen my Hug-a-Bunch Tickles here, which I have called Gigi. I have also been turning to her for some cuddles and comfort as well. And I've had her for months, and she was just in a tote. And so this is my first time really having her out and doing things with her. And yes, it was a negative situation that had me, you know, I guess searching for more comfort. So these two ones here have been my comfort. Tell me about yourself. You know, if you're open to sharing, share with me. Do you guys find that you get baby fever when you're going through something or when you're stressed and wanting comfort? Do you notice the drive is more for latching a hold of something? You know, I'm very curious, and you know I love talking about, you know, all of this, and it's you know, I think it's talking about it can be a good thing, and it can help some people process their emotions, even getting to talk about it. Some of us process better by writing things out, journaling, and some process better through talking with somebody. and maybe even talking to your little ones if you're not talking to another person. But it's all very interesting. And what specifically are we looking for in the moment? Is it nostalgia? Is it security? Comfort? Is it distraction? What has you running to your dolls? And maybe there are times where you don't cling to your dolls or your stuffed animals so much. And analyze that. What is happening in your life during that time? I have noticed that I am clinging to something almost all of the time, you know, and there has been times in my life where maybe I'm clinging more to my rock collection, or my junk journals, and I go, you know, into making a ton of junk journals. Sometimes it's stuffed animals, sometimes it's dolls. But there's usually something. I usually have something going on all the time. And that doesn't mean that I feel bad all the time. So it is fascinating to dig into, what do I cling to the most when I really, really don't feel good? And I think for me, that is going to be some kind of stuffed animal. Whether it be Gigi or whether it be just a stuffed animal in general. You know, when I really, really am in a negative place emotionally, I think stuffed animals are more of my go-to. But I'm curious, if you guys are still enjoying the psychology talks, there is much more. We could really get into some heavy, deep stuff. If that's the road you want to go down. Because we can even start talking about, you know, splits, because I've had a split that is in the process of reintegrating. So we can go way down the rabbit hole if y'all want to go way down the rabbit hole with it and go real deep with it. What things do you cling to? Is your split clinging to something? How old is your split? And that will tie into what you cling to, depending on how old your split is. So yeah, we can really go go way off if you want to go that far into it, because yeah, I've experienced a lot, seen a lot, so I'm definitely open to sharing. I don't get weirded out by sharing those types of things. I feel like, for the most part, I tend to be an open book. I only shell up when I am really in the thick of something. I won't want to talk about it. I will shell up. But if it's something that's in my past, then it's easier for me to share and talk about. But I hope you've enjoyed this video. I hope you enjoyed seeing Payden and enjoyed the clips of us having a bit of an outing for date night. Thank you all for joining us here, and I will say bye for now.